I'm Audit, and I'm going to show you the writing app I've been working on. It's called Chisel, it's open source, and it's on GitHub, and I'm going to show you some of the features. So on the left, I have a list of books. I'm going to choose one. I'll choose a bear's story. And then I'll pick a chapter, let's say Baby Bear. So far it just says once upon a time, so let me finish the line. Once upon a time, there was a bear. And I'll hit save. And one of the great things about Chisel is every save is tracked. So now if I click over here and go to the history section, you can see I started with once upon a time, and now I've added that once upon a time there was a bear. So every time you manually save by hitting Command S, Chisel will add a new change in here. Now let me add a whole paragraph. This is the opening from A Tale of Two Cities. So again, I hit save and you can see it's added that to the history section. And it's a little hard to read, so I'm going to make it full screen. And now it's easier to read. You can see I've added that line. Let me go back. So the great thing here is nothing is ever lost since Chisel is keeping track of these changes. You can always click one of these to go back. So if I want to go back to once upon a time, I can just click this. And now I'm back to once upon a time. And if I want to, again, go back to the Tale of Two Cities part, I can click this one. And now I've restored that state. Another nice feature is AI support. So let's say I delete this and I hit this sparkle icon. I've got a list of AI prompts that I can run. So let me click one. I'll say expand. You can see it's working, and it's generated one suggestion for me. So if I want, I can click it to add it to my text. Now the cool part about this is you can edit and add prompts easily. So if I go up here to the settings, you can see, for example, right now I have it set to just return one suggestion, and then I have these prompts. And it's really easy to change them or to add a new one. So let me add a new prompt. I'll call it limerick. And similar to this haiku one, I'll add write a limerick based on this text. And I'll hit save. And now if I go up here, you can see I've got limerick as an option here. And I can click that, go back to my settings section, and you can see it's written a limerick for me. So it's great because you can add any AI functionality you want yourself. You can edit the default settings, and it's very easy to do. Now you might be thinking that you'll never remember which icon is for settings or history and so on. And one feature I really like, Chisel comes with a quick launch feature. So if I press Command-Shift-P, I get this drop down, and there's a lot I can do with this. So I see open history here. If I click that, it opens up history for me. And if I do the same, I can also search. So if I search for settings, for example, it's highlighted. If I just press return, it'll take me to settings. So there's a lot you can do with this launch bar. For example, you can go to another chapter. So there was Bear Gets Married. I just search for that. And now I can navigate to that chapter. I can also go to chapters in other books. So for example, here's a chapter in this book of blog posts that I have. And now I'm at that chapter. So it's very easy to navigate around. If you have a lot of chapters, you don't need to go hunting for the right one. You can just use this and sort of autocomplete on the text you're typing. So now you'll notice that the chapters are a little out of order baby bear is last, but it should really be first, and bear gets married should be last. So I'm going to click the three dots here and click reorder, and then I can just drag that up to the top, drag this to the bottom, click done, and now they're in the right order. The other thing you'll notice, so I have Bear in School and Bear in School version 2. And this happens to me often. I'll have multiple versions of a chapter going, and it's hard for me to organize them with just a column layout. And that's where grid mode comes in. So you can go there by clicking here, and instead of a column, you have a grid. So now I can start to organize these by having a column for each chapter. So let's say we have Baby Bear, Bear in School version 2, Bear meets someone, Bear gets married. That's great when you have multiple versions of a chapter going, because you can easily see visually what's going on. You can also use it in different ways. So for example, if you're doing a 3-act story, you could organize the columns that way. And you can add labels to each column. So I could say, this is Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So it's really very flexible. You can organize it however you want. You can click on any of these to go to that story. And of course, the order in here is still preserved. So it's nice. It's just a different view on your chapters. The last thing I want to show you is focus mode. So focus mode gives you feedback on your writing similar to Grammarly, but the goal is to go one step further. Focus mode helps you write in the classic style, which Steven Pinker defines in the sense of style roughly, and I'm going to paraphrase, but roughly as presenting an interesting truth in a way that engages the reader in conversation. So some of his tips, for example, are make abstract ideas concrete, avoid using cliches, avoid using jargon. And you can see in this text, you might notice a few cliches. So now, if I click on this I'll go to focus mode, and you can see I'm getting feedback on my text. So some is a hedge, I can take that out. Another one, blast from the past, is a cliche. Call a spade is another cliche. Mission critical is jargon. And think outside the box, it's marked as hedge and jargon. And I can click these, get some synonyms. In this case, it's even given me a suggested replacement. For this one, it said it was a hedge. I've clicked on that. I can just press delete to get rid of it. For other words, I can pick a synonym I want to use instead. And then once I've looked at the feedback, I can just press this X, go back, and clean the text up. So that's all from me. If you want to try the app, go to chiseleditor.com. You'll find an online version you can try, and you'll also find a GitHub link if you would like to set it up yourself. Thanks for listening.